Hello and welcome to the show. Well, I am so glad that you were able to join us tonight. We have a great show planned for you. I've been talking all year about new beginnings and about live your dreams and enjoy life. And it's all about starting what God has promised to you and what he has put in you. And I'm going to continue to say that. I am a Christian. And so I'm going to continue to let folks know it's time to do it. Why wait? It's time to do it. I'm trying to live my dreams and enjoy life at the same time because it's not promised. So if you have some information that you want to get to us, that you want us to talk with one of your authors or somebody who's doing something phenomenal in your community, all you have to do is email us at info@tammymccotry.com and we'll be glad to talk with you. So I said, we've got a great show planned for you. Dr. Walter Curry, founder of Renaissance Publications, LLC. Now, this man is an author, historian. He's going to be on the show. And so I want you to just sit back, relax, and enjoy it because it's coming up next.
The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. I told you we've got a great show planned for you. When I think about this person, I think about a dedicated father, a loving son, an author, a historian. He's also the founder of Renaissance Publications, LLC. And what better time to talk to him during Black History Month? Of course, I say we celebrated 365 days a year, but I have the pleasure of having the one and only Dr. Walter Curry Jr. on the show. Come on out, Dr. Curry.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, Tammy. Thank you for having me. I love the song. It's an upbeat melody. And so it really gets my juices flowing. And also the commercial with the great legendary Cecil Williams promoting his Civil Rights Museum. I would say the Cecil Williams Civil Rights Museum in South Carolina.
That's right.
So I'm really standing on his shoulders and others who have already done the work in not only documenting civil rights history in Orangeburg and South Carolina and beyond, but also telling the stories of our people, African-American people across South Carolina and beyond. So I'm excited to be here this evening.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Walter Curry. I call you Walter when we're not, and it's Dr. Walter Curry Jr. But
yes,
we didn't put the junior behind because, listen, if my mentor is looking, Walter Curry Sr., he'd be like, wait, now it's a senior here. So it's Dr. Walter Curry Jr. And,
yes.
I am so grateful that you were able to join the show because I know how busy your schedule is.
Yes.
But, I had you on the show about a year ago, and there are some folks who are new to the Tammy show. And thank you again for what you said about the music. That's all due to Willie, assistant producer, and he really rocks and rolls with it. And so I want to really find out, who is Dr. Walter Curry Jr.?
That's a great question. I am a native of Orangeburg, South Carolina. My parents, you know them. To the audience, my mother, Cheryl C. Wright Curry, who is a successful cosmetologist and entrepreneur. She is the owner of Cheryl's Styling Salon, which is located downtown Orangeburg on Russell Street. And my father is Walter Curry Sr., who is the CEO of the Curry Insurance Agency. And I am the only child. I am a graduate of Orangeburg Wilkinson High School, class of 99, go Bruins. And then I went to Edisto for a while too. So I always support OW as well as Edisto. When I graduated from OW, I matriculated to South Carolina State University, my alma mater. And you see me wearing my shirt for a reason. Go Bulldogs, class of 2003. I graduated with a degree in political science, did an internship with Congressman Jim Clyburn. I always reference that internship when I was in his office in Washington, D.C., because Washington, D.C. and that internship changed my life. Made me grow up as a professional, but also as a person, because there were a lot of life lessons that I learned working with Congressman Clyburn. His staff was very stern and direct, but over the years we connected, and he knows about the work that I'm doing, so he has given his blessing to my work. I describe myself as a journeyman. When I graduated from college, I didn't want to stay in Orangeburg, so I applied to grad school at the University of South Carolina, enrolling in the Master's of Teaching program in education. And I did quite well, but at the time I needed work. My parents were paying my bills, and so I decided to drop out of grad school to work full time with the South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus. And I learned about politics there. Shout out to former Representative Jerry Govan, who was the chairman of the South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus. At the time, he gave me that opportunity. And after I left the caucus, I worked at the city of Columbia as a zoning inspector. It was a temporary position. And then I kind of, fell on hard times as far as what I really wanted to do with my life, because I wanted to be in politics, but I couldn't secure any employment. And so my father suggested that I go into the insurance business with him. And so I received my insurance license. I'm still actively in the insurance business. I still have my license. And so that was really a saving grace for me, because I was able to secure employment and began a career. But my passion was always for history. And at that time, I was still searching. I was still trying to find, well, what is that it? I want to define myself. I want to be my own person, or better yet, my own man. So I decided to go into education. I passed the teacher exam, and I taught middle school social studies for 4.5 years. And during that time, I was able to obtain my master's degree, my EDS, education specialist degree, and finally my doctorate degree from Argosy University, Sarasota. So I have 4 degrees. And again, I was at a point about 6 or 7 years ago. I want to do something greater. and this love, this passion for history. And so, knowing all of the history about my family, mainly on my mom's side as well as my father's side, and I found out that my family history connects to African American history in both Aiken and Orangeburg County. My father's family from Orangeburg County, my mother's family from Aiken County, and then discovering the fact that my ancestors were connected to historical periods, sources that I have researched and located over the years, from slavery to Civil War, the Reconstruction era and beyond, even civil rights. And because of the knowledge that my mother, family, my mom shared with me, it was suggested to me that I should begin writing a family history book. Actually, it was a cousin who I met online, and she's a genealogist like I am. She said, well, you know about the family, and we are descendants of Logan and Vining Thompson. We're part of the Thompson family on my mother's side, her grandmother. And she said, well, Walter, since you know the history, since you know a lot of the cousins, I suggest that you write the book. I said, okay. So I started bringing all this research together, remembering some of the stories that were told down generations from relatives in the Wagner Sally area. I decided to take a leap of faith and publish my first book, The Thompson Family Untold Stories from the Past, 1830 and 1960. And I remember doing my first lecture at the Aiken County Historic Museum, and it was a jam-packed house. My parents came, family came, members of the local community came, and then it was birthed by a cousin of mine who posted a message on Facebook, and he said that if you have a talent, you should start a business using your talent. Why not use the creative juices within yourself to create a business? And so I launched Renaissance Publications in 2018, which is the company that I am currently the owner and founder of. And since then, I have won 6 awards. The Thompson Family Untold Stories from the Past has won 2 awards. And my second book, The Awakening C. Wright Ellison Family Saga Volume 1, has won 4 awards. Wow. And so I was able to expand my business, building relationships with key stakeholders in the arts, humanities, community, and was able to secure grants. And I'm still eating off those grants. I'm just using the word. Now my books is a part of a historical exhibition in the Aiken County schools. Now my work has expanded beyond Aiken County, and now I'm getting calls from schools, and have done an exhibition in Spartanburg about early last month. But all of that is to say this, that I'm blessed to be in a position where I'm using my talent to tell the world, to tell the stories about my rich ancestral heritage, and getting paid as well. So we want to get paid for what we do.
That's right. The key word. That's the key word. Well, you know, Walter, as I'm listening to you, right, you talk about the stories that you were told. At what age did you start hearing those stories, and how did they resonate with you in order for you to be able to write your book?
I would say 2 people who were very influential, my mom and my grandmother, my daddy's mother, Lizzie Williams Curry. Both of them were, when I was young, were storytellers. Me and my mom, when we traveled to her hometown of Sally, she would point places of interest where she grew up at. She would tell me stories about my grandparents, her grandparents, other relatives. In fact, I was fortunate to have met my great grandmother, her grandmother. She died when I was in first grade, but I remember her very well. I had a chance to meet my great grandmother's siblings. It's amazing when I say that I have met and known great great aunts and great great uncles, and some of them were living around the time me and my mom would travel to Sally. And so when I got older, my mom allowed me to visit other relatives, her aunts and uncles, and my grandfather first cousins. My grandma had first cousins and second cousins, and everyone in Sally and Wagner, believe it or not, are related either by blood or marriage. And so I was able to soak all of the information up because my mom told those stories about her family and she made it vivid. She made it real. And my mom, even to this day, when we have casual conversations, she taught lessons about life through her family. She will say, well, son, you came home from college and you have a black and mild butt inside of your pants. You better stop smoking because your grandfather, he died from cancer. And I remember that. She would tell me, don't leave your drink unattended because my grandfather, he was poisoned. Somebody poisoned him. His name was Harry Jack Wooden. Wild character. But I found out on my mom's side that I was related to famous relatives who were influential and contributory figures in their fields, and their contributions are embedded in African American history and culture. So I'm going to talk about some of those individuals later on. But I want to mention about my father's side, my grandmother, Lizzie Curry, who passed away several years ago at the age of 102. She shared a lot of information about her family, my grandfather, the late Johnny Curry, how she grew up in the Great Branch area, family around Cope and Cadova. And she too pointed out places. She also showed me the Curry family Bible. And in that Bible are the names of my grandfather's siblings and his parents and grandparents. We got closer before she passed away. I remember some of the conversations that she shared with me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, she would tell me, well, you don't need to tell your parents everything. And she knew where I was going with my business, and she gave me some good advice about sticking to the story, know when to speak, when not to speak. She also said that if a relative don't know what you know, that's okay. Give them the benefit of the doubt. So she shared a lot of wisdom with me, that has helped me. And she even told me, she said, son, when you going, you're gonna be great. But I'm gonna tell you this, you're gonna be the most loved and the most hated. And I didn't believe it then, but
now you know.
Now I see. You know, you're gonna be the most loved and the most hated.
That's right.
Because you're gonna know things that other relatives on both sides don't know.
That's right.
And so she kind of prepared me for my role, and even encouraged me to reach out to white families who know about our family history. She said, because, I don't know everything. Your mom don't know everything. None of us know everything. But if you know people in the community that know a little bit about your research or some information you need to get from them, go out and reach out to those people. And I can truly say that my grandmother had a great reputation from people from all walks of life. People who I didn't know came to her funeral and showed their respect for her life. So those are the two individuals who gave me my love for history. I don't want to leave my father out because he has a story too with the time that he and my uncle Carl Curry, who's no longer here, a couple other cousins and his classmates, they won the 1969 state championship for their high school, George Washington Carver Tigers. My father was the championship quarterback. Research has been done on that, and hopefully we will expand on that research this year. But you think about 1969, that was a year. That year when they won the championship was after the Orangeburg Massacre in 1968. My father told me that was a very scared time. He said that him and my Uncle Carl were not allowed to participate in the marches because my grandparents were afraid that something would
have happened.
We know about the history of men, black men being lynched. And plus my grandfather was working at plywood. And so my grandmother, she told me this herself about the, not telling her kids, my dad and them, particularly my aunts who were at Claflin, you don't want to get granddaddy in trouble because if they found out that you all were involved in the marches and all of that, that could affect his employment. So she shared that with me. So there's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
A lot of stories. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Dr. Walter, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back. And when we come back, I do want to talk with you about the Ancestral Reflections art exhibition of what you're getting ready to do. And so we're just going to take a break. And so I want folks to sit tight. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
Stay tuned. You are now watching The Tammy Show. This is Roger Gas. Welcome.
Welcome back to the show. I don't know if you had an opportunity for the first part of the show, our first segment, where Dr. Walter Curry has been joining us, Dr. Walter Curry Jr., founder of Renaissance Publications, LLC, and how he's been talking about learning all of this history, but more importantly, how his passion has turned into, dream, passion, and your life and what you're doing now. Dr. Curry, thank you again for being on the show. As you were talking about all the lessons and all the stories that your parents grandparents, great grandparents shared with you. I want to talk with you about the ancestral exhibition. How did this come about, and how does that tie in to everything that you're doing now?
That's a great question. I took the playbook from Michael Jordan. I remember listening to his interview when he said that when he won his first championship, you can explore the other depths of your game. And I thought about that. I said, okay, I won 2 book awards a couple years ago, and looking at other ways to tell my story. And so while I was doing presentations at museums, I was looking at art. And I said to myself, wow, art is so amazing. And I thought about the experiences of my ancestors and relatives, and how can I tell the story in a different way. And so I remember online, I was just surfing my social media page, reconnecting with some of my sorority and my frat members. Shout out to Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta. And one of my sorors named Shakala Crawford, she was promoting her work as an artist. And so she said, hey, Walter, you remember me so-and-so back in the day? I said, no. And then she reminded me who she was. And she said, well, have you collected? I said, collect what? She's like, collect my art. So I kind of looked at her proposal and read my book. And I say to myself, what a great way to bring the stories out visually. And so I met with Shakala. We talked about the concept. I was able to secure a grant. And as a result, she was able to produce 8 visual paintings of my ancestral experiences in the book, my book, The Thompson Family, Untold Stories from the Past, 1830 to 1960. And some of those paintings include paintings of my ancestral experiences, those who were enslaved, my ancestor who served during the Civil War as an enslaved cook with her master on the Confederate side, an African-American school that involved my family church and a cousin who helped raise the money to rebuild a school near Sally, South Carolina, called Piney Grove Colored School, and several art pieces that related to my family agricultural experiences. A relative who was a former slave, his mother was sold when he was 5 years old, and he was able to become a successful business owner, owning and operating a syrup mill. Found out that there was a cousin who was involved in soil conservation efforts, and also a connection to Orangeburg County history through my ancestor who was involved with other farmers. They were going to Coca Pedigree Farms in Hartsville, South Carolina, to learn about seed breeding practices and other agricultural skills and knowledge. And so all of this came to be the title of the exhibition, called Ancestral Reflections, the Thompson Family. And the reason why I call it Ancestral Reflections, because the paintings reflect the ancestral stories and experiences of my ancestors in the book, The Thompson Family, Untold Stories from the Past. I did my first exhibition at the Center for African American History, Art, and Culture in Aiken County. It was well received. And what I learned from that exhibition, from the audience who was there, they were sharing their stories about their experiences. Some of my cousins were giving me information about their experiences connecting to the paintings. Many of them was sharing their experiences about sharecropping and how they had to go out in the fields to pick cotton. Another person shared his experience about the syrup mill. He remembered seeing the syrup mill and the mule walking around the compressor to grind the sugar canes that produce the sorghum syrup or cane syrup. So you had a lot of people who were sharing their experiences by viewing the paintings. Also, with my exhibition, I included some ancillary things. I created images, included images of my ancestors and their relatives, places that they were in point in time that connects to each of the painting, in QR codes where people could download those images, download sources of content that related to each of the paintings, as well as some videos. And then I took it up a notch to include the spoken word piece, which my good friend Tavern Hampton, TK, the Tanny, what TK stands for, the I don't know what it means, but he'll tell you later on. But me and him, childhood friends, so he did spoken word pieces on some of the paintings. So this exhibition has been well received. In fact, we will be at South Carolina State University next week. The exhibition reception begins at 5:00. Myself, yours truly, will be doing the spoken word. No, we'll be doing the artist talk at 6:00, followed by the spoken word by Tavern Hampton.
Wow. And we bought the flyer so that everybody could see all of the people that are involved.
Yes.
Yourself, Tavern, and the lady, the artist.
Yes, Shakala Crawford.
Shakala Crawford.
Yes, and she is the one that did all of the paintings. She's a very talented artist. And so we are working together to show people that art and history is a valuable connection, and that you can too come up with ways to tell your family history or local history in visual representations such as paintings.
Wow. And so this is happening next Tuesday, on Tuesday, February the 22nd.
Oh, Thursday.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Thursday, February the 22nd. I'm moving kind of fast with my days, right? But it's February the 22nd, and this is at South Carolina State. And what building is that going to be in again, Dr. Curry?
The Fine Arts Building. The Fine Arts Building. The paintings will be in the gallery section. I will. The paintings will already be up. So the exhibition will run from February 19th to February 29th. And so I will also extend the opportunity for groups and school groups to set an appointment with me, and I will be happy to provide a private tour of the exhibition as well.
Wow. Well, Dr. Curry, you got your work cut out for you. I'm telling you. And every time I see you all over social media, you're doing such a wonderful job and a phenomenal job letting people know that it's important to know about your history. And
Yes.
being the genealogist that you are, that's what you do. So I'm gonna have to talk to you about the McCautry line as well from King Street, so that you
That's
can
right,
help me with that. Because
yes.
yeah, we've got
Yes.
a family reunion coming up in 2025. So I'm gonna have
Oh,
to get you
wow.
involved. Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So I want you to just let the viewers know what you want them to glean from this interview before we close out.
Well, I want them to to really understand the importance of preserving history. Not only your family history, but preserving local history. One of the things that I have been pushing in my advocacy is the need to push more of local history. And I applaud the work of Cecil Williams. He has done that very well in the Orangeburg community, as well as others. But I think we have an opportunity to shed light on other stories that reflects our rich local history in Orangeburg County. And I want to say to the listeners that your family history is also a part of local history. So don't be ashamed to promote your family history because family history, local history, African American history, which is American history, are all interconnected. And so we have to understand that. I will also suggest that we begin to come up with strategies to promote local history. I hear a lot of people will tell me that African American history is it currently being taught in the schools? It's not being taught in the schools. Da 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 da. What I tell people is this: you have to make an effort. Go and reach out to the schools. Bring historical literature to the schools because I work with teachers and many of them will tell me, well, Dr. Curry, I don't have local history resources. Where can I go locally to teach about the Civil War, to teach about slavery, to teach about African American successful business owners? So there is a gap there. And that's something that I'm discovering with my work when I talk to people about the gaps, particularly in rural communities, such as Colt, Cordova. I would say Orangeburg is a rural community as well. So I encourage people to make the effort with the schools and to share information with them and form organizations to tell the stories. That's important too. So we have a lot of things that we need to do on that front. But before we close, I would like to say that next Thursday, the exhibition reception is going to be from 5 to 7 o'clock. The main show begins at 6 o'clock. So yours truly will be doing the artist talk. The paintings will be there. I will be selling my books, The Thompson Family Untold Stories from the Past from 1830 to 1960. And the proceeds of the books will be a donation to support the work of the visual arts department at South Carolina State University. So shout out to Professor Kimberly D, who invited me. We built our relationship over the past couple of months, and she's excited. I'm excited. I have people on campus promoting the exhibition as well. It ran in the newspaper on yesterday, so I'm very excited, and I hope everyone will come to enjoy a great evening of artist talk. Yours truly. And the spoken word that will be given by Tavern Hampton, TK, the talented Connie, which is his stage name. So he wants me to make sure that everyone knows that. And to see these paintings, not only from my family history, about my family history, but these paintings, you will see your history as well through them.
That's right. Wow, Dr. Curry, I tell you what, this is going to be an exciting time. And, I always wish you the best because you have been doing it. Like I said, live your dreams, enjoy your life. And that's what you're doing. You're living that dream that was passed down to us so many years ago. And you're telling that story. And so we thank you for that. And I just want to say, God bless you, as you go forth. And my last thing is, I always got to find out, what are those 3 words that describe you?
I will say, I'm a Capricorn, by the way. So I would say ambition, creativity, and passion.
Creativity and passion. Ambitious, creativity, and passion. Those are the words that describe Dr. Walter Curry. Well, Dr. Walter Curry Jr., thank you so much for joining me on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and we know that you talk about historians here locally, and Roger Gass always talks about Dr. Curry and how you all are doing everything, and Chief Fude and over there in Africa, and how we Sierra Leone doing everything, and so we are just grateful for you and all that you do. And if there's anything that I can do to help you, I'm here for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It. And shout out to Chief Forme and Baba Gas. Those brothers are doing incredible work. They're actually telling the story about the Gullah Geechee connected to the Orangeburg community. And so I'm helping them with that. So we got some awesome initiatives coming real soon. And to have somebody like Chief Forme, who is from Orangeburg, who is from Cope, where my grandparents, ancestors were from. And for him to document his family history is incredible. He has an incredible story, and he's very passionate. And Bubba, Roger Gass, from New York. I think he was born here in Orangeburg, moved up to New York, and now he's telling his story about his African ancestors and through the Gullah Geechee culture. And both of them have documented where the homeland of the Gullah Geechee people in Sierra Leone, and they name a village. And so this is extraordinary research in Orangeburg.
That's right.
And the reason why it's extraordinary, because according to their research and others like my good friend Wayne O'Brien, they have found that South Carolina State University, there was a professor named Lorenzo Turner who did research on the Gullah people and documented their language. He was a linguist. And Wayne told me the story about he overheard 2 students from the Low Country area speaking a different language. And so he knew that language is very distinctive.
That's right.
And so that's when he began to document Gullah culture and Gullah studies. So Orangeburg is the birthplace of Gullah studies. And so people need to know that. And for a lot of reasons, because of the fact that the Gullah community in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, I have a lot of friends like yourself and others who are very active in the Gullah community, part of the Gullah community. And the Gullah culture is closer to Africa. It really is. Than we will get. So we got to take advantage of learning more from our brothers and sisters like yourself who are part of the Gullah Geechee community.
Yeah, I'm Gullah Geechee, as we say. I be Gullah Geechee.
Cold switch.
Quick switch. I know how to do it. Hey, Dr. Curry, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. And again, congratulations on the Ancestral Reflections Art Exhibition on February the 22nd, and that reception from 5 to 7. We're hoping everybody will come out and see what you're talking about, and learn the history. The local history is right here in the area. So thank you again, Dr. Curry.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care of yourself now.
All right. Take care.
All right. Okay, folks, listen, you heard it right here. Dr. Walter Curry Jr., founder of Renaissance Publications, LLC. I tell you what, as I keep saying, you learn so much when we have guests on the show. And it's just great to hear the history. And during Black History, where I say we celebrated 365 days of the year. And so I want to thank you again, viewers, for being on the show. Next week, we have a great show planned for you. Another phenomenal guest celebrating Black history. And so I want to thank my producers, Alicia, executive and assistant producers, Willie and Tiana. Thank you as always for all that you do. Remember, be a blessing to somebody today and every day. And please subscribe to the Tammy TV show. Hit that red subscribe button so that you'll get the notifications. Until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.